what if I told you that you could learn twice as fast? No, really. There's a science-backed protocol that taps into how your brain is actually designed to work, a way to get it into a state of hyper-learning.
We've all been there, right? You spend hours and hours studying, trying to cram something into your brain, and then, poof, it's gone. It is so frustrating.
But here's some really good news. The problem isn't you. It's not that your brain is slow or broken. Not at all.
The real issue is the method you're using. You've probably just been going about it the wrong way. And we are absolutely going to fix that starting right now.
Okay, so it all begins with understanding this one incredible concept, your brain's hidden superpower. It's called neuroplasticity. This is the whole key.
So what is neuroplasticity? Well, it just means your brain is like soft plastic. It's designed to change, to be molded, and to be rewired your entire life. It's not fixed at all.
To really get this, think of your brain as a super dense forest. When you learn something totally new, it's like taking that first step off the trail, trying to forge a new path.
At first, it's just a tiny, fragile little trail in the grass. You know, you walk it once, and a day later, the grass has already grown back. The memory just fades.
But if you want to make that path permanent, you need two things. You need intense focus, and you need a sense of urgency.
And when you combine that focused repetition with that urgency, that tiny path transforms into a multi-lane superhighway. Information just flows. And that learning, it's permanent.
So, that's the theory. Let's get to the action plan. Here is the 3-step protocol you can use to deliberately trigger this kind of change in your brain. We're going to tap into 3 specific biological triggers. First, the alertness trigger, which basically tells your brain, hey, wake up. Then, the arrow trigger, which pinpoints exactly what needs to change. And finally, the gap trigger, which hardwires the new learning fast.
All right, first up, the alertness trigger. Your brain doesn't bother learning unless it thinks something important is actually happening. And guess what? It only takes 2 minutes to flip this switch. You could do some simple box breathing or even just a few quick jumping jacks right before you start to study. That little bit of activity releases epinephrine. Think of it as the pay attention chemical. It basically sends a jolt to your brain that screams, listen up, this stuff matters.
Now for step 2. This is the real secret weapon, and I know it sounds totally backwards, but you have to make mistakes. You need to embrace errors.
See, whenever you get something wrong, your brain releases a chemical called acetylcholine. It works like a chemical highlighter, marking the exact spot, the exact neural circuit that needs to be rewired. Errors are literally the signal for your brain to grow.
Okay, step 3. While you're in that deep focus mode, I want you to take a deliberate 10-second pause every few minutes. Just stop, stare at the wall, do nothing.
Because here's the incredible part. In that tiny little gap, your brain rapidly replays and strengthens everything you were just working on, but it does it at 20 times the normal speed. It's a biological accelerator.
So, you've done the protocol. You've triggered the learning process, but now we get to the final piece, the amplifier. This is the phase where the most critical, permanent rewiring actually happens.
So let me ask you a question. When do you think all that learning actually gets locked into place for good?
The answer is probably not what you think. It's not during the act of studying itself. That part just sets the stage. The real permanent change happens when you rest. Deep sleep is literally when your brain physically rebuilds and rewires itself based on what you did that day.
And to really amplify this, you can use a tool called non-sleep deep rest, or NSDR. It's super simple. You just lie still, focus on your breath, kind of like meditation. A 20-minute NSDR session or even a short nap after learning can dramatically cement those new skills.
So just remember, this ability to learn really fast, it's not some gift you're born with. It's a biological process, and it is 100% something you can master.
So the only question left is, now that you know how your brain is actually designed to learn, what will you choose to master first?